Hello everyone and welcome back to another video in the Golang series. Sorry I've been away for the last couple of days, but let's get back, let's get started. Alright, so this video is around a very important package in Go, which is context. This is something I believe you'll see in almost every single Golang application once it hits a big level. This will definitely be there. In the code that we've written so far, we didn't really have any need for it. But once I start making projects here, you'll see the context getting used quite widely. So, what exactly is context? Why does it exist? So let's imagine that you have an HTTP request. So this is the general flow, right? You'll have someone make a request. It will go to your handler. It will go to your service, your business logic. They'll go to repository, and finally go to your database. Um, Now the thing is, what if the request gets cancelled, or um, what if the client itself leaves? What if it's an infinite loop? I mean, how do you manage your resources, or how do you make sure that you don't get stuck somewhere? So context kind of provides you a cancellation mechanism, which makes sure that the CPU cycles are not wasted, connections they don't remain occupied, you don't have abandoned coroutines, memories managed efficiently. So from the official code to the official documentation, you will find something like the context it carries deadlines, cancellation signals, and request scoped variables across API boundaries. Please note that this request scoped, I'll explain a little further when, but yeah, we'll talk about it. Um, okay, simple explanation, context controls the lifetime of an operation. So the request is basically managed by the context itself. So as soon as you get an HTTP request, you create a context and you use that when you do any other operation going forward. So whenever the request is cancelled or timeouts, every layer from here this point, handler to database, it will know. Another thing, context is immutable. You cannot really modify it, but you can create sub-contexts which inherit the properties of the parent context. So let's see exactly how do we build it. Yeah, so when you build it, generally in the main.go file or somewhere wherever you're starting it out, right? You'll see something like context.background or context.todo. These are basically just empty canvases. I mean, you can do anything you want with this, but this is how you create the parent context. To do, I don't really recommend to do. It is when you're not really sure what should be done yet, so you just leave it. I'll come back to this later. So, if I go to my main.go file, if I were to create a context, I can name it something like context.background, and okay, fine, that's fine. What does the background take? Nothing. It's an empty argument. It returns a non-nil empty context. It is never cancelled, has no values and no deadlines. So, yeah, I mean, this itself is, I don't think, very useful. But yeah, we'll see if we can use it somehow. Where were we? Yeah. So this cancellation is, I think, something you'll see quite often. You create a cancelable context, and I mean, you can either cancel it yourself. So there's two major kinds of context. One is with cancel, and one is with timeout or with deadline. I mean, there's differences, but I think there's two major types: cancellation and timeout. Cancellation is when you know when the context will get cancelled. But what if you just want to make something like, here's an HTTP request. If it doesn't return in 5 seconds, cancel it. Probably something wrong. So, I mean, both of them are actually quite straightforward. If I just copy this, um, we don't need this anymore, and that's it. So, we did a defer cancel because we always want to cancel the context, and once the main thread has run, it will just automatically cancel it. Or you can pass this cancel onto your function and cancel it yourself once you know it's not going to be used. I, however, am somewhat biased towards with timeout. Where is it? Yep, here it is. So let me just delete this and let's do this. All right. So context cancel and context with timeout. And what exactly is this? So if you see, the first argument that with timeout takes is the parent context and some duration. So since we do not have any parent context, we created one right here. Otherwise, we would have done something like, context.background, and we will pass it here. That's it. So you can either do this or you can do what we had earlier. All right, I'll just go with this. Now, let's create a very simple Go routine so that you understand a little bit more about what I mean by this. Let's say I create a wait group, which will be sync wait group. What do I do? I say wg.go. It will take in a func, which will be let's say some worker, which will have context with it. I still need to okay, I still need to define worker, right? So func worker, it will take context. Sorry about I think codex is turned on for me, so please ignore the suggestions. I'll turn it off before the next video. Okay, so what will we do is let's create some switch cases. I don't think we've talked about switch cases right now, but that's fine. We'll yeah, let's select and actually let's just use the suggestion. That's fine. If it's context done, that's fine. Otherwise, the default would be, let's say I just want to print out something, not console, it's fmt dot print ln, let's say print worker is working, and we'll do, let's say we have a 5 second, right? So let's say time dot sleep, and did I miss something? Time dot sleep 1 into time dot second. Okay. Mm, wg.go and wg.wait. That should be it, I believe. Yeah, I don't need to call defer done. That is fine. Yeah, I think this should work for me. Let's run this. Go run main.go. See, and that is pretty much it. I can actually, add something over here so that you know exactly when the done is called. Uh, Worker is stopping. Be clear. That's it. So I never told it to actually stop after 5 seconds. The context did it. So it came here, did this, it called it 5 times, and then it just stopped because we are doing a sleep for 1 second. So essentially, gets called 5 times. But the main thing is this context itself stopped it. So Now, what generally how it does what it does is, like in production setups, you see maybe some other function, func one, you'll again pass context, some variables, and so you basically just keep passing this context in a like it's down you basically form a tree like structure. You just keep passing the context to every single child that gets called, and the context just keeps managing when to stop, what all to what all processes to kill, how to free up the memory. That is essentially where you use context. So and there's just one thing that I think I mentioned in the start of the video, the request scoped values. So what it does is context, it can also contain uh, some variables in the form of key value pairs. So yeah, you can read about deadlines, which pretty much same, but the deadline is basically cancelled at exactly 3:45 p.m. or whatever timeline you want to give it. Here it is. Request ID key. Fine, let's see. Main.go. Um, I'll just say uh, val. I don't know. Fine. And now this, so it is very much similar to, how you save something in a database, but instead of database, you're just saving something in the context itself. And if over here, I can easily, access these values. So it's val is context.value, and over here I can, cool, great. I can say uh, whatever the value is. So if I run this again, the value is ABC. So let's say you have an API request coming in, it has something, maybe some user information that you don't really know how to pass along. You can save it in the context. Um, I mean, there's no boundaries exactly what you want to save in context. I mean, user information you can probably store in some variable and pass it along, but you can do it in the context itself. I mean, it's really your call when you want to save it. There are some things that you should not be passing in the context, doesn't really make too much sense. Let's come there. Yeah. So the typical values include request ID, trace ID, collation, pretty much same. Authentication information, you can do it. No hard and fast rules, what you want to add or don't not add. Uh, re- we'll talk more about request to trace IDs when we jump into the project, because this is actually one of the use cases that I really like about the context. Um, so I actually did this. Should not be doing this because whatever keys you have, it needs to be accessed throughout your code base. So just save them somewhere so that there's no errors accessing it later. So this is fine. What should not go into context? Generally, don't send your database configurations, config files, loggers. Probably don't do it in context. I mean, again, we'll talk a little more about this when we actually build an application. But yeah, so yeah, that is pretty much what you do. That is all I want to talk about for context right now. In the next video, we're going to make this OTP validator project. Over there, we will be using Redis. Don't worry if you don't know about Redis, I'll explain them. But Redis actually expects context to be passed in as an argument, which is why I thought maybe this we should talk about it first. Uh, and I have one other project planned as of now. I think over there we'll have a lot more code and you'll see exactly how context is getting used. So you can go through the README file, and I've added a lot of information. I hope you guys are able to make sense of it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.